Good day, everyone. So this is the first feature race of Formula G in Argentina, as you can see. Again, I'm doing post commentary as always. So about the country, I don't really like Argentina. It's overall too empty and it just takes too much clicking to find some decent clues. Luckily, in this map, it's not as bad because there are other maps where you just get put in the middle of nowhere. But still, yeah, it's not going to be too easy. Luckily, we have a better time limit than or a longer time limit rather, you know, to find stuff that we can use. So anyway, let's just jump in and start the game. So yeah, this is a typical round in Argentina, I'd say, just a long straight road. I was looking at the kilometer markers because those can give you national routes, but not always. It's kind of like with Brazil. Sometimes they give you it, sometimes they don't. But yeah, this is one of those rounds where you just pray to God you went the right way and just click away. So with nothing happening, I guess I could talk about the country a bit more. So this is the kind of round where I don't really like Argentina. There are, of course, more urban rounds or roads with more clues. That's overall more helpful and easier. But still, these kind of rounds in between just never fun. So whenever something like Argentina comes up, I'm just not really looking forward to it much at all. Also taking into consideration South America is not really my forte overall. I am improving, definitely, but it's still one of my weaker continents, I'd say. I also have a lot of trouble distinguishing the north and southness of this country, especially in places like these where you can see it's like dry and flat, but is it in the middle of Argentina or is it really down south? It can be hard to tell at this point because the landscape changes a little bit, but not not that not that how do you say that? It's more subtle. The landscape changes are quite subtle, which makes it a bit harder to determine a north and southness unless you really have trained it and memorized certain roads. Maybe then, but still, it's just such a huge country. You really cannot tell sometimes. See, I'm gonna take a guess where I am. I am guessing middle because I do have the tendency to go super south sometimes while it's not so. For now, I'm like, okay, let's just put a safety pin in middle Argentina for now. But yeah, good thing that we have 5 minutes because otherwise that would make this even more difficult. I did practice a lot, by the way, for this because, like I said, I'm not too good at South America. It went pretty well, I'd say. And look, there we go, the sign I finally needed. We are on the 3. I recognize it because of Rio Gallegos being down south there. So we started a bit above Tercero. And looking at the direction of the road, you could say that we could be on that straight part above where I placed the pin. I think I'm looking for something else. If there's maybe a sign that points to the other way to certain cities, but it's like, yeah, let's just go back and see if I can find this, because finding the general area is one thing, but finding the exact junction you're at is a whole nother thing you have to do, especially when it's long and straight like this. So yeah, you do have to take a bit of a gamble with this, or pay really close attention to other roads. So I saw that road curved a bit, so I was putting my bet on this one. I was looking like, okay, is there anything around that I can use? Not really, except for, what am I looking at? Okay, I don't know what that was. But yeah, so I was like, okay, is that road to the south, is that there? My internet right now is not really helping, so I couldn't really move. I'm clicking away, but it's not responding. Uh, it's because of the recording. I usually don't have this when I'm just playing normally, but with recording, it slows down the process a bit for me. So I didn't have a lot of time to check if there was a side road there. So I think I just gamble on it like this. Okay, this should be at least close enough. But the thing is, how many points am I going to lose if it's wrong? I was a bit too south. It was 15 kilometers, but it's not too bad, I'd say. It could be much worse. Like, I don't know if I would have found anything if I went north, but that's the kind of thing you have to do in Argentina. Just go one direction and hope. Just hope you find something. Now, we're in a small town here. These roads are also rounds are also not super favorable, but they're still much better because at least there's a chance you will find some clues or a bigger road somewhere, and you can pinpoint a bit better if you study the layout of the town a bit. So I found a bigger road here. That is quite the nice thing about these rural areas. You just need to find the right direction to the direction that leads to roads like these, and then just go along as you usually do in Argentina, mainly going in the direction and hoping that is the good direction. That's quite important to check clues on the way because you never know what something has to say, even if it's a sign where you think, okay, there's nothing going to be on there. Just check to be sure. You never know. There's always a surprise mention of the province or the municipality somewhere. So yeah, put my bet on going southeast. But it is taking a bit too long for my liking, so in a bit I will go back because I feel like, okay, if this side is not going to give me anything, I might as well just try the other side because it didn't take too long for me to get out of the town. I'm just going to check the sign, which doesn't help. It's something about speed, velocidad. What does help in Spanish-speaking countries is I do not speak Spanish, but thanks to linguistics and a bit of English as well, I can read a lot of words that are like derived from English/Latin, things like velocidad, which is like velocity, which means speed, stuff like that. So I can kind of read languages like Spanish, also French and Italian, even if I don't speak them. French is limited, Spanish is basically non-existent. But it is a pretty easy read sometimes if you learn enough words. So yeah, I went back the other way, and that was the right choice because now I narrowed down the province, which is Formosa. I did guess that we were in there already, and I'm checking for route 64. I can't read that. I'm not sure if it's 64, but yeah, 24. I think I was looking for the 24, but thinking a bit, I'm thinking, okay, better off finding something. But I found the 24. So now it's a matter of, okay, is this the town we're in? Route 24. That confirms it. So now it's a matter of, well, on which of these roads are we? I was looking for street signs, they weren't there. So I had to go off counting. It's becoming a bit of a complicated thing if you don't have street names. So I have to derive it from that road going off in the north, the 24. I think I'm checking for street signs again, but it's just not findable at all. So what I did was I went back to the road. I checked where the road leading north was. There are a few roads leading to the north, but I needed to check the 24 in particular. I think this was the 24, so I didn't count how many I was away. I think I should be one more to the east in all the panic, oral panic, time limit and stuff. I didn't quite pay attention to that. I was two to the east even. Yeah, so it was a bit rough, but I only dropped 2 points, I think, which is good. So yeah, here's the third round, another nice and typical Argentinian round, or Argentinian, however you say it, where you just need to go in one direction. I think I have something interesting to say about this afterwards. Well, I don't know if it's interesting, but something I noticed that might have. There, I'll tell when we get there. But yeah, Argentina is definitely a country that tests my patience because at one point I'm just like, where are the freaking clues? And they're not. They're just not appearing, or nothing's happening. And just like, and I'm like, God, why do you have to be so empty and without clues, Argentina? Like seriously, it gets me frustrated almost. Then again, I'm used to the Netherlands, where we're one of the most densely populated countries, and within a 5 kilometer radius, wherever you are, you will always find a village of some sort, or a town, or whatever. I do think we're quite northwest, close to the Chilean border. My rule of thumb in Argentina is the hillier it gets, the closer you are to the Chile border, because with the Andes Mountains right on the border of those two. But that can be a bit deceiving because I think a bit southeast of Jujuy or Yuyuy, butchering the pronunciations probably, but southeast of Yuyuy is also quite a mountainous part. Cementerio, yeah, I think that means cemetery. But I thought for a while, could that be a place name? But we would be weird to name a place after a cemetery. So there's the 40, which is a well-known road close to Chile, like I said. So my gut feeling was correct, but those signs or those town names are quite small. So I just checked quickly to see if I could maybe spot them, but that was not the case. So I kept looking for a better sign because there has to be one. That says this. Oh no, it doesn't say the same. So yeah, I don't know any of these places, but if it's on the 40, we can definitely find them. It was more south than I thought. Yeah, here's San Jose de Hachal. Then I had to look for Matacusanos, the closest one on that sign. I didn't quite find it yet. I got a bit confused because if it were south of San Juan, I would guess it was on the thing. So I thought we were at least north of that, which we are. So I think I found it because the road trajectory checks out. It correlates between the path I traveled. So I felt pretty confident about this. Just double checking the curve's correct. It looks about right. We took a sharp curve there and just went straight. Yeah, I was pretty confident about this one, even if I didn't really check the whole area that well. But I still lost a lot of points because it's hard to measure apparently. So I'm gonna pause for a bit because a lot of people on that round didn't get a lot of points. I think that if you go north, there's probably like nothing there because the clues I got were quite enough to find the area, and it kind of pops up too because of the trajectory of the road. But I guess if you go north, which I guess a lot of people did, and just didn't go south or didn't have enough time to find clues when they switched to south, that it was, how do you say it? Yeah, that it just was not enough for them to find a good clue. So I don't know if you went north, uh, it would be nice if you could confirm my suspicions. But anyway, that's something I just noticed. It's like maybe the north just has nothing useful. So in that case, I'm happy I went the right way. Anyway, this is round number 4. We are close to Chile again. If you look at the beautiful, beautiful mountains in the background, I don't think I've noticed them when I did this, but now that I am not, focused on trying to think where I am, I'm just enjoying the landscape a bit. It's quite beautiful. Now with the pine trees and all, it it's difficult to tell. Pine trees can appear pretty north in Argentina, but this had to be an indication that maybe we're a bit more south. These kind of signs are quite useful, but the thing is you cannot always read them. They are scattered across the country quite a bit with the Presidencia de la Nación thingy. But if you're not close enough, you cannot make out any of the important details because municipality and stuff is in the tinier letters. So yeah, that's a bit annoying. But on a road like this, I was pretty confident I'd find more information, such as this. Okay, that's not quite useful information. Maybe for pinpointing later, but for now I need a bit more clues. I just noticed it might be better to record on full screen, because if a part of this is gonna appear in the Geoguessr esports thing, then it's better to record full screen because, well, then it's better for them too. But it more applies to the Reddit League when you're actually up against someone and they have to display 2 screens. So then I've noticed it's better to have full screen, but I guess in this instance when they're only showing 1 screen, it's not that bad, but still every little bit helps. Okay, so I'm not sure if I saw the full route, but I thought it was 40 again. I think I saw it very quickly, but past me did, but current me didn't see that. But I reckon it's 40. So yeah, I guess I know generally where I am, but there's nothing concrete yet. Farmacia. Yeah, and the Google car for some reason thought it was funny to go on the grid, even though there's a perfectly fine 2-lane road next to it. I don't know why. But yeah, as you can see, again, Argentina is quite a sparsely populated place. It's a big country. I think a lot of people forget how big Argentina actually is. Like, Brazil's huge, of course, but Argentina really is quite huge on its own as well. So yeah, I found a 40 here. And looking for these places, I only heard of San Martin de los Andes, but I wasn't sure where like how far south I was supposed to be. Apparently, I was really overestimating the northness because in a few seconds, you're gonna see that we are quite a bit more down than I think, which is, like I said before, it's really tough to estimate sometimes how far north or south you're. The pine trees should indicate, okay, you're quite south, but if you're that high up in the mountains, pine trees can appear as well. So it's not always clear cut. Like when you see a pine tree, you're immediately in the southern side. That's not always the case. So that's kind of the tricky thing with landscape guessing in Argentina in instances like these. So anyway, I found another national road, 234, and I'm just scouring for that 234. There's not much time left, so I really hurried up. Here, I found it. I'm trying to guess, okay, where in relation to this are we? Trying to zoom in on a city. I think we are. But yeah, honestly, I'm not sure where it's supposed to be, but I think it was in general area. It was good that I made that click last second because we got a bit closer. It was a bit more south, very close to the Argentina border. But yeah, I could have done that better. Maybe guess the south a bit earlier, so I had more time to find it and figure it out. But it's not that bad. We're still putting up a decent score. I mean, the competition will be fierce, but I'm not only gonna play this just to focus on others. I want to see if I can put on a decent performance this time as well, because the first season of Formula G, I wasn't in the best form of my life. I didn't of my and I didn't enjoy playing Geoguessr as much, and in turn didn't really help with my results. So this time I want to kind of prove to myself as well that I can do it. I mean, I've shown it in the Reddit League where you have less time for rounds, so why would I, you know, why would I have so much trouble with this? So it's not just wanting to beat the competition, because I know there are going to be much better players than me, uh, like Boxes, Simi, Mr. Blue, you name it. But I do want to perform a bit decently, even if it's not enough to get a lot of points. Anyway, I haven't been talking about this round. We are in a city. That helps. Apparently, I saw Concepcion del Uruguay on there. I didn't notice it, to be honest, but I guess I saw it on that sign because I zoomed in on that very certainly. Now, I am very early to the pinpointing, but it's a big town, so still have to figure it out a little bit. I think that might be the street name, but I wasn't sure because usually street names are shown a bit better than that, not just on a wall, but look of a stick and the actual sign. But that's not the case here, so I wasn't sure if it was just saying something like, hey, go at the back to enter, or something like that. So yeah, but definitely on this Hipólito Hidrogen or something, that street, because I think I saw it somewhere. But yeah, there it is, Irigogen. So that confirms we're on this one, and that also confirms that those things on the wall do mean street signs. So all I had to do was look for Chacanuco, I think. So yeah, I'm just scouring the map for that, and I found it. So yeah, not the worst round to end off on. It was quite relaxed, I'd say. Guaranteed 5k, always good. So yeah, decent score, I'd say. I didn't make any major fuck ups. As you can see, I did quite well. There are a few up me now. Like I'm definitely a lot more downward now, but I am quite satisfied with this first performance in the feature race. That is, gonna have to see if I'm gonna do any worse in Buenos Aires. But anyway, uh, yeah, that was the video. Thank you for watching, and see you later. Fucking thank you. Anyway, bye.